At long last, the new Toyota 4Runner is here. Following a 16-year production run, the 5th-generation model departs Toyota's lineup to make room for the truly new, fully redesigned 6th-generation 4Runner. It arrives with a reputation to uphold, one of durability and capability. Yet simultaneously, it must meaningfully advance from its archaic predecessor. Toyota had to get that balance just right, or risk alienating the 4Runner's ardent fanbase. Is the new off-road SUV modern enough for today's roads, while preserving its classic charms? See what's changed on the 2025 4Runner to get an idea. Old Toyota 4Runner, exterior design. Introduced for 2010, the 5th-generation 4Runner had become a familiar sight on the road and trail. Although it gradually fell behind modern design approaches, the old 4Runner still looks pretty good. In general, it's butch and boxy, an aesthetic that'll likely stand the test of time. Up front, the 4Runner has an aggressive visage thanks to squinty headlights and prominent fog light cutouts, which surround the big, 6-sided grille. Around back, that grille motif continues on the tailgate in the sculpting surrounding the license plate, as partially transparent LED taillights lend a technical appearance, and the rooftop spoiler a touch of sportiness. Viewed in profile, the 4Runner is simplistic. Squared-off wheel arches and the 4Runner's signature forward-leaning C-pillar provide visual distinction. New Toyota 4Runner, exterior design. The new 4Runner bears a clear resemblance to the old model, but it has a more commanding presence. Up front, there's a bisected grille, where a body color bar splits two areas that vaguely resemble the shape of the old models. Although the headlights aren't so angular as before, their LED accents work with the grille to give the front end a scowling attitude. An imitation skid plate adds to the trail-ready impression. As before, certain models get an air scoop on the hood, and air vents on the front fenders slightly aid aerodynamics. At the rear, the upright tailgate has a horizontal sculpting that aligns with the taillights, which have dark accenting on off-road-oriented versions. Again, all models have a rooftop spoiler. It's the profile of the new 4Runner that perhaps shows the most advancement. There's far more sculpting on the wheel arches and a prominent imprint on the lower door panels. Those wheel arches are emphasized by cladding, which is black or body color depending on model. Signature details such as the angled C-pillar persist, and although the rear quarter window has a similar shape as before, it now curves slightly as it extends onto the roof. Old Toyota 4Runner. Badges. A huge part of 4Runner enjoyment is having the ability to flex on owners of lesser 4Runner models. Badging is a key part of the 4Runner pecking order. On the old 4Runner, the only badges consistent across the entire model range were on the tailgate, where a chrome-finished Toyota logo was positioned above 4Runner lettering. Most models also had a chrome Toyota logo in the grille, but the TRD Pro version got the automaker's name spelled out in bold font. The most important badges were adhered to the C-pillar, where the specific trim level, SR5, TRD Sport, Limited, etc., in either chrome or black lettering went on display for all to see. The TRD Pro model, the 4Runner with the most ability to flex in its suspension articulation and social status, got an additional tailgate badge to make sure no one could overlook it. New Toyota 4Runner. Badges. Badging is again prominent on the new 4Runner, but Toyota takes a different approach to how it's applied. On the tailgate, all models now spell out Toyota instead of using the brand logo. Model designation is shown with applied chrome or black lettering, or embossed stamping on the TRD Pro. Up front, road-oriented versions use Toyota's logo, while off-road models show the name in lettering. The profile view is where badging is most different. Don't peek at the C-pillar because no models have any badging there. Instead, look toward the base of the A-pillar, or at the lower corner of the front door to determine what model you're looking at. Old Toyota 4Runner. Interior. To sit inside the old 4Runner was to take a trip back in time. Its basic layout and mediocre materials evinced the vehicle's age. Some silver trim was added to break up the large swaths of black plastic. The limited model got a few pieces of unconvincing imitation wood, and the TRD Pro some chintzy fake carbon fiber. The abundance of hard buttons and physical switchgear was refreshing in contrast to the digital interfaces common in many newer SUVs. But those became a confusing mishmash as more features were crammed in over the years. Even high-end models had some cheap-seeming switch blanking plates for unused features. Legroom in the second row was tight, and considerably more so in the available third row. New Toyota 4Runner. Interior. Talk about a glow-up. The new 4Runner's interior is far more stylish and modern yet shows the vehicle's rugged, utilitarian personality. In general, it remains a straightforward design, with chunky knobs and user-friendly buttons distributed in a logical way. Sizable grab handles could come in handy during off-roading and are treated with an interesting geometric surface. Colors and materials are much improved. Just look at the Trail Hunter model's available green seat upholstery and interesting stone-like trim panels, or the TRD Pro's camouflage pattern seats and bold red accents. Large door panel pockets are among the added cabin storage spaces, along with a plethora of cup holders. Expect the optional third-row seat to remain sized more for kids than adults. Get a Sequoia if you want Toyota's best three-row SUV, at least in terms of spaciousness. Old Toyota 4Runner. Technology. Given it first went on sale the same year the Apple iPad came out, the previous generation 4Runner was unsurprisingly outdated in terms of tech. By the end of its run, every version had an 8.0-inch infotainment touchscreen and small reconfigurable screen in the gauge cluster. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto were standard, and built-in navigation was added on higher-end models. 5 USB ports were distributed between the first and second rows of seats, but a wireless charging pad couldn't be had. An 8-speaker audio system was standard, and a 15-speaker JBL premium setup available. New Toyota 4Runner. Technology. The new 4Runner has tech features expected of a modern vehicle. As before, an 8.0-inch infotainment touchscreen is standard, but it runs the latest version of Toyota's user interface. A 14.0-inch touchscreen is optional or included depending on trim. Regardless, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto gain wireless connectivity. Base models have a 7.0-inch gauge cluster display, while higher-end versions get a very reconfigurable 12.3-inch all-digital display. Again, up to 5 USB ports are available, and this time a wireless charging pad is too. An available head-up display further indicates the new 4Runner's modern tech approach.